Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we're doing a cool discussion talking about what could be coming from Premium Pack 2024. These are just cool products. Honestly, the Premium Packs are a little bit underrated in my opinion. Nobody seems to ever really care too much about them, but there always seems to be just enough stuff in them to make you like put your check mark on your chin and just go, spicy. Some interesting stuff here and there. So I want to go back and I want to look at some of the past premium packs, and then I also want to look at what we have so far and the information we do know about the current premium pack and talk about that, because there's always just like a little bit of legacy support, a little bit of generic cards, and there's actually just some decent stuff in these things overall. So hopefully that's kind of what we get here, and we'll talk about what we could be looking for. So let's start off with Premium Pack 2022. I didn't want to go too far back all the way, and you know, because I think Konami changes their formula every once in a while, so the further back you look, the less relevant it gets. But at least going back the past 2 years, when you look at Premium Pack 2022, this one was actually a little bit more lackluster. I thought 2023 was much more interesting, but 2022 still had some bangers, right? I still think Black Mamba is like a phenomenal card. They seem to like to do this in the Premium Packs, give whether it's just like one type of monster, right? And they chose a little bit of zombie and a little bit of reptile support for this one. Black Mamba is just a phenomenally good card, right? It's just actually just like a good reptiles extender generically for them, and then it gives them the bonus to have a Foolish Burial. So it's a card that I do think, as reptile support, you know, develops over the next couple of years and years, this card gets even better. So that's cool. You also had Lamia. This card searches any level 8 reptile, so boom, just another good generic reptile card. And the other thing that I thought was the most interesting from here, like I said, this one was a little bit more lackluster than 2023, was the Underworld zombie cards. These cards revolve around being able to like search this Ghost Fusion card. It's a new fusion that lets you like fuse with zombies, but if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can banish a zombie from your hand deck or graveyard as material, which is kind of nice. So, you know, just kind of like some decent cards. Like this one searches Ghost Fusion. One of them I think can recycle Ghost Fusion. You know, they're just like decent generic zombie cards. If we ever got like a new zombie fusion based archetype, or just like generic zombie boss monster that was a fusion, this actually could be an engine that sees play in some zombie decks. That would actually be pretty interesting, but it's something that at least makes you go and we'll keep it in mind going forward, and that tends to be how these sets like to go. And then you get to Premium Pack 2023. This one is way more interesting. Just some of that stuff. They went way more legacy support heavy in this one. Golden Rule, just like a straight up great Crystal Beast card, like actually a really good Crystal Beast card. Blackwing Sharnga the Waning Moon, just an actual phenomenal card for Blackwings as well, being an extending tuner that also gives you an extra Dryden effect on your opponent's turn. It's actually really good. This card's just really strong. Photon Jumper, I don't know a ton about photons, but I played against one at locals somewhat recently, and the guy went through Photon Jumper. It searches any photon or galaxy spell or trap. That seems pretty good if it's just generically sent to graveyards. You can just Foolish Burial this, search a spell or trap. That's definitely got some legs to it. And then some plant cards as well. We got Roshan. If you read this card, it's actually not a bad card at all. So, like, just some decent cards for a handful of archetypes that are anime/manga relevant. That's kind of cool. And then on top of that, they made a couple of interesting insect cards, one of which was Guard Mantis. Just a good generic, you know, insect extender. That could come up if insects actually get, like, something to unify them. Same thing as the reptile support we saw. Cattycorn, generic good plant monster that just helps you search field spells if you can just summon this out off of like the Arrow Mage Jasmine, or is it Aromaseraphy? Aromaseraphy Jasmine, I think is the name, whatever. And then some actually generic cards that I thought were some of the most spicy ones, right? We went over these a long time ago when they got revealed about a year ago. Shadow's Light and Duality, very interesting spell cards that allow you to like cheat certain monsters out of the deck and extra deck, depending on the type of setup you're able to get for these cards. They're very interesting. Now, they've never found a place in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Yet, but they were the kind of cards that when they first came out, you said, dang, I don't know if there's something out right now that breaks these, but we could easily just get an archetype that is designed in a way that allows these cards to flourish down the line. And if that is the case, I just think over time these cards could come back, and they're cards that make me go, could be spicy. Keep an eye on them. Which brings us to the modern Premium Pack. We got 2024 on deck. This comes out December 16th, and it is already November 19th. So we've got about less than 4 weeks, less than a month and we still have like I think 17 unrevealed cards here. There's definitely some cool stuff coming. On top of that, they've already revealed that some of the cards for the set from like the manga have already been kind of announced. The first ones were the striker cards, and we got those revealed. We got Cyanos, actually just a good card. The only bad part about this card is it locks you into machine monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. So as long as, I mean, that's another one. We're just like, if we just continue through the future of Yu-Gi-Oh, we'll probably just get more good machine link monsters, and that just makes this card even better. But it is a good extender. It is a good card that lets you spam the field like a bunch in Striker. It's a pretty good card. This card's also not too bad either. It allows you to like play into boards. Just helps strikers like have a good link up monster that allows you to like take your opponent's stuff, which is cool. So like allows you to just steal an opponent's monster, which is kind of nice. Yeah, not too much here. That card's cool. And then the Link 2 is pretty nice as well. It has a restriction on it as well, I believe, but I think it can't be used as link material is the biggest restriction on it. But if you can spam it out with like linkage, it's actually like an interruption, which is actually kind of nice. And you can also ray into it as well, because it doesn't have the restriction that it must be link summoned first, which is cool. So yeah, just like actually decent cards. So those are the only three we have like officially fully revealed, but there are some cards they already told us like are in the set, or at least have artwork that like confirm that they're going to be in the set, but we just haven't seen what they do yet. And the interesting about them is they're manga cards, I believe. So the first one is Toy Box, a card we don't have yet. If you look at the way it functioned in the manga, it allowed you to place 2 toy monsters from your hand or field in the box, and when the toy box is empty, this card goes to graveyard. That doesn't really tell us much, but this Viz Media lore might mean a little bit more here, right? Special summon a Toy Box token to your side of the field. When a Toy Box token is summoned successfully, select 1 or 2 monsters from your side of the field or your hand and remove them from play face down. This token cannot be declared as an attack target and is unaffected by the effects of spell cards. Once per turn during either player's turn, the Toy Box token can special summon one of the monsters that was removed from play by its effects. When all removed monsters are restored to play, destroy the Toy Box token. Interesting card, a lot going on. It summons a token. It gives you the ability to like summon out the monsters you banish with it on the opponent's turn as a quick effect, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if it's actually going to be like see play. Obviously, you have to assume that Konami's going to modify this a little bit, make it make a little more sense, maybe make it a little bit better to fit like modern day Yu-Gi-Oh standards. But this does seem like it could actually be something interesting. Token generator that also gives you the ability to like summon on the opponent's turn. Interesting stuff for sure. The next one here is Electro Gunner. There's like literally no information about this one. We have artwork for it. It kind of just looks like was that Sergeant? Is it Sergeant Electro? Can't even remember his name. The card that was actually really good in Duel Links for a while at the very beginning because he popped back row. But this guy is pretty interesting. All we know from this is basically that it's a level 4, machine monster with 1800 attack, 1400 defense. I wouldn't be surprised if this is just a generic good machine support card, but we have no effects based on this card yet, so we have to keep an eye on it. It's actually Axel Brody support, funny enough, from the manga. That's interesting. Maybe it's just fire support, actually. I don't know. That's cool. And the last one here is Red Lotus King Flame Crime. Very cool. This one's artwork looks really, really cool. It's just like this flaming dragon guy who's like buffed out. We don't know much about him except that he just burns your opponent. Inflict damage equal to your number of fire monsters times 400. Now that doesn't mean too much, but like one, that could be a time card if decks have ways to get access to him. And he's fire based. So like, is there a world where something like Volcanics have access to getting this guy out? If you can just get him engraved, get him in rotation. If he's a pyro, we can dump him really easily in Volcanics. Then like, you're probably just making the new Link 3, the Promethean Princess anyway. Revive this guy, burn your opponent, and then, that's extra burn you get to add on to what Volcanics are already putting on your opponent. That's actually kind of nice. So definitely some cool stuff. Again, keep in mind, Konami probably will edit these to do a little bit more than just burn for 400, because like, why would anybody want that? This guy will have like an actual effect, and this one may be modified too. Other than that, we don't know much else. It's all up in the air. Hopefully there's some good generic cards. Hopefully there's a little more legacy support. Like, no joke, these legacy supports are like kind of nice. This is just a straight up good Crystal Beast card, a really good Blackwing card, and a really good Photon card. Like, yeah, just give us a couple of just one-off really nice cards for like some popular anime archetypes. Like that would actually be kind of sick. But we'll keep an eye out for it. Obviously, I'll keep you up to date on anything that drops there. We should be getting in the next couple weeks. Like I said, we're like 4 weeks away from the set actually coming out in the OCG, and 17 more cards to go. So I'll keep you updated on all that stuff. I just want to give you a good video, pretty much laying out what we're looking at and what I expect, what I want to see, and we'll go from there. So let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on this. What do you want to see included in this set, like realistically, like anime archetypes that could just get like a one-off good support card, or like some generic support, like we've got an insect, reptile, zombie, plant, generic, just like solid cards. Like what monster type would you want to see? That kind of stuff. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.